I just wanted to just make the entire intro train wreck. Throw people through a loop.
I was hesitant to join in because I didn't know if this was like a planned thing. So I was
like,
I'll let them write it out and see how long it goes.
I just threw a wrench in the whole thing. I trumped, the podcast like Trump trumped the White House.
He just took over out of nowhere.
Already started.
Took over the entire party without going through a process. Hey man, so let's talk about our weekend, man, because we hung out on Friday.
We did,
and you heard the person on the microphone. This D'Angelo. We'll do a proper introduction in a little bit, but so me and you, we went to go see Surfer Blood and D'Angelo with his band Your Glow.
Yes,
at Nice Guys Pizza.
I'll be honest. Not even that I was late.
Right.
I didn't get to see you guys.
I was almost late. I showed up 10 minutes before we were supposed to go on.
Oh. I don't feel so bad.
I felt terrible, dude.
Yeah.
I honestly felt like shit, and I kept apologizing to like everyone, but I mean, it happened.
Yeah. So, dude,
they just wouldn't let us in.
So I was also very, very late. It's funny because like I told all my friends about the plans, but I was the last person to show up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
how it goes.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the time.
I was waiting for my friend to go pick her up from the movies, and she messages me that like, oh, there was something wrong with the movie showing or whatever. It fucked up, so they had to like restart it. Right,
oh
whatever.
My god.
And then it restarted. So then I was at Bell Tower because I was 1,000% sure she told me she was at Bell Tower. So and then she told me she got out at like 10:15. She was supposed to get out at like 9:30.
Yeah.
Right. And then she's texting me or she calls me like, "Hey, I'm out. Like, where are you?" I'm like, I'm right here. I'm like, I'm right in the front. It's like, wait, are you at Coconut Point?
Uh-oh.
I was like, really?
Coconut Point?
Really? She was entirely on the other side of
Coconut
town.
Coconut Point to Nice Guys is a hike.
No, is nowhere near close to Bell Tower.
Yeah,
like I thought she was
at Bell Tower to Coconut Point, back up, and then to Cape Coral, basically.
Yeah, I
was near Estero. We were at my drummer's house because we were practicing and all that stuff, and we left like Estero, and then I was with James, my lead guitarist, and he was like, "Hey, I need to go here for something." And I was like, "Okay," and he was like, "Yeah, it's like right next to the bridge." And turns out the bridge is this way. He had to go this way. I'm like, that's not near the bridge.
Yes,
so I got there like 7:47 or something, and we were on at 8, and I was like, fuck.
God damn.
Yeah, luckily they like already tested all the sound stuff, and they were just like,
it's cutting it close.
Yeah, no, really close. And I felt terrible, but.
And dude, so by the way, I'm Sydney. This is John. By the way, we always make sure
introductions
because we've gotten to the point where like we'll sometimes just not even introduce ourselves until the very, very end. It's like it's like tongue in cheek at this point.
Yeah,
actually,
a lot of the times you guys already know who you're talking to, so it's like
you
kind of just forget that you're doing that.
Yeah, like I'm sure like does Joe Rogan always say, "Hey, this is Joe Rogan of the Joe Rogan podcast." I'm like, I'm pretty sure you know who he is.
Yeah,
like if you
sure.
click in,
I just get the highlights, so I don't even get the intro.
yeah. But anyway, so I went to a party in Sarasota, right? And nobody else, none of my friends from Fort Myers were there, and actually no, a couple of people were there. But I can't tell the whole story. But the cliff, the end note, man. I'm so happy nobody else is there. At least the people who I hang out with.
Oh my God.
I had a pretty vulnerable moment, man. You know when you just like excessively drink and it's late at night, you start to get emotional. You start to have intense conversations.
Oh goodness.
Now normally you have these intense conversations when there's only like 3 people left at the party. Like it's like an after party intense conversation. Yeah, you really, really fucked up. Problem is, like, 8 people stayed that night, so everybody was there.
Oh my God!
Imagine me and John having this intense conversation while like 7 other people, and mind you, it's not a big apartment too. Like it's like you can clearly like if somebody's like talking really loud and having this intense conversation, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear everything. Yeah. And boy, howdy. I was ready to letting it go. Started to cry a little bit.
Oh goodness!
I didn't cry, and you know what the funny thing is, and I don't know if this is like. Like a telling sign of who I am. Right after I cried, was being emotional for a while. I talked to this dude and we talked about Dark Souls for like the next 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness, it's quite the turn.
I feel like that's like that little bit of recovery time.
Oh yeah,
just like after
you talk about
like,
hating yourself and then you're like, "What this fucking video game's awesome." Though.
Yeah, this video game's awesome.
I mean, speaking of hating myself, Dark Souls.
Yeah. I swear to God, I wish I was like, I was getting into some heavy shit, but like as soon as it got done, I was like, "What my tears?" It was like, "Hey man, like." you like Dark Souls? It's like, I was like, oh my god,
Do I ever?
do I ever? So how was your weekend, D'Angelo? I know you had your Friday show. And Nice
Yeah.
Guys Pizza.
It was all right. I mean, it was weird because I've been listening to Surfer Blood for years now,
Oh.
and we knew we were doing this for like months in advance. We got booked months in advance, and
God damn.
yeah. So for a while, I didn't really say anything about it because I've learned the hard way. Where when you like say something and then it doesn't happen, you just kind
Right.
of look stupid. So I was like, all right, I'm just not gonna say anything.
Right.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
first when we got booked,
Yeah.
they were telling us the 25th, and then I was on Spotify, and I was like, Surfer Blood's playing Tampa the 25th. Is he lying to me? So I talked to him, and he was like, no, the 24th instead. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense.
Okay,
and then,
okay.
So yeah,
Good thing you
He's the
clarified.
reason you're 10 minutes late.
yeah, oh yeah.
Long
And-
term, far enough back.
And then so yeah, it was a really surreal experience to actually like play with a band that I've looked up to for a while.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how to feel. We just did it.
You just did it.
we
Like,
just
did
did
you
it.
know them beforehand? Or have you
I've never met them.
Never met them. This is the
No,
first
yeah.
time you met them opening up.
First
for
time I've
them.
seen them play too, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you just
Um,
been listening to them the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
time.
And I mean, I was in like 2016. That's when their lead guitarist Tom died, and
Oh
you know,
wow.
I was there for all
Mm.
that. And
Right.
you know, so they're definitely a band that I've looked up to for a while, and it's very humbling to like get selected by nice guys themselves to play that show, and
yeah.
I'm very glad that we got the chance to play that. You know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It was really fun too, and I met
Mm.
like a lot of cool people that night.
Mm.
Typically, I mean, the first time you saw
Yeah.
us play, like we talked
Mhm.
for a bit,
Yeah.
but I'm
Beach
not really
Records.
like the most social.
Honestly, well, I'm gonna get to that. It's funny you say that. I'm gonna get to that later, because I have that as like one of my questions or whatever. But it's like the opposite. But like, so what was like? Did you have like a personal conversation with the lead?
We talked
Singer
for a
of the
bit
band,
actually.
Like, given how much like influence that they had on you.
Yeah,
and, like,
we talked for a bit. Air quotes around backstage because
Right.
you know how nice guys.
Yeah,
is. It's
there's no backstage.
Yeah.
It's a patio outdoors.
Yeah, patio.
yeah, pretty much. And we just talked about like the basics. Like I like his music, and it's
Mhm.
inspired me. And funny enough, like the project we just put out, it's my friend Luke. He used to be from he is from Fort Myers. He moved
Yeah.
to Colorado.
Mm.
And when I first met him, the first thing we talked about was Surfer Blood about like,
Wow.
a year and a half ago.
Wow. So I didn't know how like significant this whole performance was to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Really,
and
like-
and it's like it was our first time playing with like a bigger band like that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it was cool. You know, we talked about just everything like music and
Yeah.
stuff. And I remember like midway through their performance, like his string broke, and I like brought him a guitar, and he was like eternally grateful that I did that. Like he after the show,
Yeah.
he wouldn't stop like thanking me. He's like, "You saved the set." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Dude,
Even better, like there's tons of people at Nice Guys too.
oh yeah."
So like it was like it's like the perfect storm of like just everything happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, my thing was okay. So I didn't fully enjoy myself at that show,
Right.
but the reason why was because of how packed it was.
Yeah.
Like it was shoulder to shoulder with
Yeah,
all
it really
these
was.
people. You know, not that that I was necessarily like, uncomfortable with these specific people. I'm just like I was just more like I felt claustrophobic in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like what was it? Gage and Chris from Opposite States.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of people that we
Yeah.
knew, like they were there, like Gage from Opposite States there. A whole bunch of like our friends were there. and
Did you
stuff.
just say Gage from Opposite States?
I'm sorry, Chris from Opposite States.
And then Gage from 10th Wave. Let's
Gage,
let's
yeah.
specify.
Yeah.
Not Gage
shout
from
out to
Copacetic.
Gage.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
shout
a
out to
super
Gage.
nice kid.
Yeah.
I really like him. He's always like, I don't know. He just like started talking to me randomly, and he got my phone number and like texts me every once in a while. Like
Yeah,
kid has a
nice.
really
Oh,
good
yeah.
heart.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
you know,
Oh
I-
yeah.
Yeah.
you could see it like in his character. He's a really good person.
Yeah, so great show. Definitely the highlight of this weekend for me.
Same.
By the way, anyone listening, please like go harass Gage personally and
Yeah.
just show them this clip of the podcast. It doesn't have to be the full episode. We'd like it to be the full episode,
That'd be cool.
Mhm.
but share it with Gage. Let him know.
yeah,
Let him know he's a
yeah.
nice guy.
Nice
Tell him he
guy.
matters. But
Hey,
no,
man,
that's I made it very apparent
Mm.
to stay in the back because I knew that was going to be the best
Right.
spot
Mhm.
to like
Yeah.
watch the show and not feel like stuck
Mhm.
in a crowd
Yeah.
of people.
Mhm.
And
So-
and I already knew that if I would have been in that crowd, I would have forced people to move around.
And like to start raging and
Yeah,
shit.
'cause, I mean,
this shit was one of your favorite bands.
open
oh,
up
yeah.
the pit,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
oh yeah, I would have started.
Yeah.
Open up the goddamn pit.
Get some blood.
Surfer Blood's not really like the kind of band you want.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like the opposite. They're more like chill. You want to like hang out and shit.
Next to the no moshing signs at Nice Guys.
Is there a no
Yeah.
moshing?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was
because
actual
like
sign.
they have metal bands that
They
show
have
up there.
like a
Oh, that's
lot of
true.
hardcore shows.
That's
Yeah.
true.
They're fucked.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know, when it comes to like with shows like that, like, hardcore dancing is a real epidemic. Crowd killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what crowd killing is,
Yeah.
basically it's when anyone in the mosh pit is trying to get someone who's in the perimeter to join in the mosh pit by bumping into them or, you know, kind of like really getting in there. So you know, moshing in general is supposed to be tons of fun for the people that are involved,
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
People are bouncing around, just knocking into each other. Someone falls down, you pick them right back up. Then there are the people that just reach down and then that just reach their fists out, close their fists, kick around, and do hardcore dancing. Which
I mean, there's
You
a
know.
lot of unwritten rules.
Wait, can I?
yeah.
Have I ever told you the story about where I saw Pierce the Veil?
Oh
couple
my
years
this is
ago.
gonna be a good story.
So this is like the first year that first year, maybe second year, whatever, when I was in college, right? My friend got me into Pierce the Veil because he like Pierce the Veil, hands like houses, sleeping in sirens, all of that shit over there. Well, I don't know what you call it, like emo,
Screamo, emo.
pop, punk. I don't know what the fuck you call it.
Post-hardcore ish.
Yeah. Whatever you call it.
Ish.
So we went to go see him in St. Augustine. Now, mind you, it's it's me, Sydney, my friends who are like two white dudes, whole bunch of emo white girls, and a whole bunch of other white dudes just wearing all black.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
You should
Now-
wear all white to contrast.
Yeah, that's true. Right? So I already feeling a little bit out of place because normally, like, it's not a type of music I normally listen to, but like, okay, I kind of like Pierce. I kind of get the appeal.
Yeah.
Right? And I was chilling, and then the mosh pit opens up like right in front of me. Right? I was like, oh man, I'm not about to do some moshing and shit. Like I already like, it's already slightly awkward for me.
I'll see you in the pit.
I'll see you in the pit. I'm just like, I'm just trying to enjoy the music. And this white dude, like, he was like moshing in front of me, and he did the whole bump thing, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't know if he's just normally like used to not like seeing like a bigger figure, but like he bumped into me. And he looked at me. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was like, "Well, it's
don't need to
okay. It's okay." And I just kind of like pushed him back in. I was like, he's like, "All right, don't be sorry. Just don't touch me."
Yeah, I mean, when
Pushed
you
it
go to
back
shows
in.
like that, you're kind of like, you kind of give that up, like your whole personal space. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna get touched.
Well,
I mean,
the cool thing is that he bumped into you and then said sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people don't give a shit.
Well, he didn't
Yeah.
verbally say sorry, but in his eyes, he was like, "Oh fuck."
yeah,
Like,
No, but here's the thing. Then there are the people that are like that look at everyone who doesn't go into the pit as a pussy.
Yep. I hate those people.
Yeah, and he was not trying to give me any of those vibes. He just hit me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm
I'm just
gonna
trying to
keep
mosh here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good times, man. But yeah, let's start the ending, man. So D'Angelo,
Yes.
Your Glow.
Yes.
Do you play guitar for Your Glow, right?
I do.
And you're not are you the lead singer?
Yes.
Yes, right. So tell me, we're gonna start it out slow, nice and slow.
Okay.
We'll start from the beginning. That's just how we normally do for all our interviews. So tell me, what was your start with music, and like, how did you, what is your general relationship with music, like, growing up?
Well, growing up, I was in a very traditional Hispanic family.
Right.
So a lot of the music that I listen to now was never
Yeah.
like in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the closest I would get to like any like guitar music was my dad. He was like really into like Guns N' Roses and like Linkin Park and stuff. Very simple stuff.
Right.
But even then, it was like a mild case of that. Like it was still like super Hispanic music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was middle school, 7th grade. I took my first guitar class,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned a little bit, but it wasn't like I was like whatever. It's whatever. And then and this was in Tampa. I'm originally from Tampa.
Right.
Moved here this
Mhm.
summer, going into my sophomore year, so like
Mhm.
2015.
Mm-hmm.
And so then freshman year of high school, It was in Tampa. I took the same guitar class. It was like a Guitar 1 class.
Right.
And I met 2 kids. One of them was a senior. I was a freshman. The other kid was a sophomore. And I played drums as well. That's my main instrument. And we started our first band. It was a metal band, actually.
Ooh.
And the name, this is so bad.
So please tell me the cringy. Wait, how old were you? So you were like 15.
I was 14.
14. So 14-year-old D'Angelo, cringy.
Yeah.
Did you come up with the band name?
No, the senior kid did.
Oh, this band. Oh, it's gonna be good.
His mom was actually my 3rd grade teacher too.
Really?
Yeah. We were called Praise the Folly. Because the Folly is like it's a book that goes against all religion or something like that. And they were just being so edgy.
Oh, the edge. Ugh.
Yeah.
I got cut marks on my fucking wrist right now from the edge.
So you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. I've seen worse band names do like that.
Yeah, like Your Glow.
Yeah.
We can get into that later.
No,
we will.
No, but I'm thinking like Existence Has Failed. You know, or
yeah, that's true.
Infant Annihilator.
That's a bad one. That's a really bad one.
Like if you're gonna go edge, I want you to at least go like comical.
Oh
edge.
yeah.
I mean, that's where Infant Annihilator is too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
when you've lost all serious tone when you make a song called Cunt Crusher.
That is very true. Or what was that one band? Cannibal Corpse. They have a song called "I Come Blood."
Yeah, like some silly shit.
That's right. That's
yeah. Well, so yeah, started that band. The senior kid guy, whatever, he was a lot older than us. He was 18. I was 14. So he quickly realized that we sucked, and he left. So me and
you think I'm 14, dog?
Yeah, me and the sophomore.
This band sucks.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And me and the sophomore guy, we found a bassist and we started a punk band.
Right.
And then we were called the Riot Runaways. That's not that bad of a name.
Okay, that's
pretty good.
Yeah, we never did anything. We literally just played in my garage like every weekend, and that's about it. We never played a show or anything. And then moved here
to Fort Myers or Cape Coral?
Cape Coral. It's been Cape Coral since I've been here. And sophomore
Yeah.
year, around, like middle towards like the end, I met someone and we started a band again. I played drums in that for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I want to say. And then 2016, the summer of 2016, I started this project, and then the other band kind of ended pretty badly, and I'm not going to get into all that.
So you said you didn't originally grow up
the drama, though.
here. You grew up in Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa.
So what was the so you mostly listened to Spanish music growing up and stuff like that. So what kind of Hispanic music do you remember? What
I mean,
like,
just like all the basic shit.
All the basic shit, like all the pop Hispanic tunes.
Yeah,
I'm from Key West, so like I've heard, all my coworkers when I was working as a lifeguard, so we just constantly listen to Hispanic music and whatever.
Yeah, like all the stuff like on the Hispanic radio stations.
Everything Daddy Yankee.
A lot of Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee, like maybe some Pitbull, maybe.
Oh,
like
a lot of my uncle is like a Pitbull like fanboy. It's crazy.
Was it?
But I mean,
Juanes. I think there's an artist that just goes by Juanes or something like that.
I don't even know, dude. But I will say, some of it definitely influences our music now. And it's also a big part of just being a musician who is like Hispanic and being proud of being, colored. Because when you think of like the kind of music we play, you think of like, greasy white kids.
Yeah, right.
Like with fans and cuffed up pants.
Yeah.
But, being proud that you're brown and just, showing people that no matter like what color you are, you can play whatever kind of music you want.
Yeah. You're not dictated by your skin color to play a certain type of music.
That doesn't take away from the the kids who are white and play music, because it's all about having fun with your friends,
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot where I was. Started this project summer of 2016.
Summer of 2016. So what was the what was the start for Your Glow? Like how did you meet everybody in this band? So name all the people who were in the band and tell me how you all like came together to.
All right. So
Your Glow.
Nick, he's our bassist. Tall, super tall, very noticeable. Ethan, our drummer, and James, he's our lead guitarist. James came a little later, but
isn't Ethan in a different band as well? With I forgot what it was called. It had like a female lead singer.
Yeah, I played drums for that band.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not really a band anymore either.
Okay.
But yeah, that was really fun too. And that was more of just like a for fun thing.
Oh,
it
for
never
fun
really
thing.
went too far, but it was really fun. So yeah, it's me, Ethan, the drummer, Nick, the bassist, and James, lead guitarist. James came a little later, but when I started this project, it was like a solo thing for about 6 months. I started in the summer, and then we like.
So it's me glow instead of your glow.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just my glow.
My glow,
not our glow.
Not our glow.
Yeah, that's actually our bio. It's not my glow.
Oh,
It's your glow. Because it's your glow, not my glow.
So you started solo, and then you like, how did you eventually meet all these people?
I played a show, air quotes around show, because back then shows to us where we would like just post on Instagram like, hey, I'm gonna go to downtown Fort Myers and sit on these stairs and play if you want to come. Come. And it worked out. A bunch of people would. There's like pictures and stuff I could show you. It's like.
Oh wait, so you literally like had like a Facebook event,
or not even. It was just like I'd post on Instagram like, hey.
Oh, okay, Instagram.
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny like you drop like the actual like GPS location.
The
People
pin.
think it's the venue, but it's like,
yeah.
Where's it at?
It's the fucking stairs,
it's
dude.
the stairs right here.
Yeah.
This is the venue.
Yeah. They So Nick and Ethan, they went to one of them.
Right.
And
you just met them for the first time too.
I've known about them.
Known about
I've met them like twice, but never like had an extensive conversation with them. And our friend Matt from Tampa, he played that as well. And there's a lot of kids downtown, like the courthouse, like the old courthouse with like the 6 stair.
Yeah.
That's where we did that. And after that, Nick like came up to me and was like, "Hey man, like, do you want to play Beach Records?" And I was like, "That'd be cool." And I the whole time I thought he was talking about just me, but he meant like him on bass and Ethan on drums. So I still remember the date. It's February 4th, 2017. We booked a show there. It was our first ever show. The same friend from Tampa played the show. Our friend Tommy played it, and then Macy, the girl who you were referring to, she played it as well. And so yeah, like they were just kind of like, "All right, cool. So when do you want to practice?" And I was like, "Oh, you mean like
this is
together?"
Legit.
I was
right,
like, "Okay, well." So we practiced like once or twice before the show, and we played that show. It was our first show ever, and it was really weird because after that show, we just got booked for like a bunch of like breweries and bars and stuff. And
wait, just right off. From, like wow,
like right away. It was strange. Then we played like Bury Me Brewing after that, and then we played the Kimberly's first ever show, their single release party for Out for Blood. Which
shout out to the Kimberly's.
Really sad they deleted it off SoundCloud. I think they're gonna re-record. They probably already re-recorded it or whatever. But
probably
that was back when they had like the original. It was just Jeremy and that one drummer Ryan, I think his name was. I don't know. I'm not even. That's their business. But that was at Millennial Brewing. It was like I think it was the grand opening of Millennial.
Wait, this was before Kyle and Jake joined the band.
Yeah, way before. Oh. Yeah, and that show was really fun. And that was like when I think you guys are familiar with like the Curate guys.
Yeah. Curator Southwest Florida. Yeah, some of our friends are in that.
Yeah, that was when they like were first getting started.
Wow, so everything was just really like just popping up as soon as you started.
It was strange, and there's like a whole written interview on like their website with us and stuff from that show.
Wow, that's dope.
And we just played a bunch of shows and stuff. Like this was like towards the end of the school year. I was a senior in high school at this point.
Yeah, everybody heard it now. Year Glow started the entire music scene in Fort Myers.
No, don't even
it's official. It's official.
I'm gonna that's gonna make me look so conceited. And
that's a gross misinterpretation of what he just said.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is the clickbait title.
Clickbait,
we're gonna start making
like, man.
Here's what we'll do. We'll start making like local music articles.
I birthed all these motherfuckers.
Yeah. No. Your Glow says he birthed all the Southwest Florida musicians.
No, definitely not. There's and like
hold on. Do you mind
haven't
changing
lived
that
here.
oil while you're under that bus?
Yeah.
I haven't lived here for that long, and there's a lot of bands that have been doing it for a lot longer than we have. And all respects go to them because they're still doing it. Like one band I could think of off top, Electric Mud. They're killing it. They went on tour this summer. They've been nothing but great to us, and they've been very welcoming.
I've still yet to see them live. I really want to.
I mean, it's a very like unique type of music. Like if you got to be really into it. But they put on an amazing show, even if you're not into like the genre. They're amazing. They're all really talented guys.
Yeah. So actually, when I first met you, speaking of Beach Records, I think I was seeing you at Beach Records for I believe it was Your Glow that was playing.
It was like 6 bands.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of bands. There's a whole bunch of young people.
Funny enough, it was because they got like triple booked because Marty said yes to like 3 different people.
My god! And hoping that one of them would like drop out.
Not even. I think he just didn't remember. And so we were like opposite states hit us up and they were like, let's just fucking join it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do
a lot of people. So a lot of young people there too. Like
a lot.
Yeah. It was a good mix of young and a little bit older.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kind of straggling, but So when I first met you, to me you seemed like you were very talkative. I know you said earlier you were kind of like more antisocial.
You really gotta catch me in my
in your
element.
In your element.
Yeah, you caught me like next to my car, like I was like just
posing, just
very,
chilling,
very
like,
calm. So like you really caught me in a good spot. But like if it were like any other time or place in that day, I would have probably just like, hey.
So
That's it.
so what do you think? Well, what I meant to originally ask, like what role do you feel like you play in your Pacific band? Because I know people play a certain, like somebody's a band leader, somebody's like the mediator, the other person's like the good like decision maker, or like will think through it logically. What do you feel like? Because I thought maybe this dude is like the communicator in his band. Maybe he's like
I try to be. For a while it was like mostly me, and
Right.
I don't really like that because we're a unit and I want us all to work together.
Right.
But since it was like my solo project for like 6 months before anyone was like in the band, it was kind of hard for me to just like let people like decide things for me, and it took a little bit. But we're definitely like at a point now where we all collectively make decisions, and we're still young, so we still like get into like little arguments and stuff. But we're all like such great friends to where we know like it's gonna get resolved. But we're human beings. We have tempers and all that stuff. But for the most part, like for example, I used to write all the songs, and I'd be like, all right, this is like the song, let's play it.
Right.
But now, like especially for a lot of the
It's
new
all
stuff,
collaborative.
yeah, I'll
effort,
bring them
right.
something, and then they'll change it up and switch it around, and next thing you know, like everyone is a lot more happy with the songwriting process because everyone has like their own bit in it, and it makes just for better music in general. I think. But
Right.
so I do like a lot of like the social media stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly because no one else like posts, so I'm just like fuck it, I'll post.
Yeah, fuck it, yeah.
And like a lot of the communicating, just because like I don't know, it's easy for me.
I mean, it seems like you're communicating pretty well right now. I mean, you are in a nice setting or whatever, because like, because I feel like millennials and like Gen Z as well, like we get typecast as like we're very antisocial. We don't know how to talk to each other. We're all just on our phones all the time. I mean, there's some truth to that, but like I feel like all the talking that happens in real life is now just transferred to social media.
Yeah.
Right, and online talking, because a lot of conversations are happening, just not in real life.
Yeah.
Well,
it's more transferred.
It just I feel like for me, it's not even that like I'm like antisocial or anything.
Yeah.
I definitely do like shelter myself sometimes in like public situations just because I'm very comfortable with what I already have, like friend wise.
Yeah.
But I will totally like make.
But you're in
friends.
a band though.
Yeah, which is
Like,
hard.
people
it's
are
really
gonna
hard.
come up to you.
Literally,
Like,
the Surfer Blood show, I met 2 random girls, and they were like, "Oh, like we work at Zoomies. We play our music all the time in Zoomies." And then next thing you know, I went to IHOP with them after the show, like a big group of people.
Player.
No,
Shit.
No, they were really nice, and it wasn't like anything like they had like like all their friends and stuff. It was just cool because like I don't know, just meeting random people and then going out and like just hanging out and stuff. It was definitely out of my element, but I did
It's
it
good.
anyway.
You got to break. Yeah, I mean, you're still a young guy. What are you, 19, 20?
19.
19.
Yeah, freshly
damn.
Makes
19.
sense. 19 in a band, playing at Night Sketch Pizza, opening up for one of his favorite bands.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty nice.
That's more than what most 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are now,
you
you're
know.
just stroking my ego now.
No, I mean, no, dude, tell me, like, trust me, like, I've, when I was younger, I was in a band and stuff like that, but, with my friends, like the church band and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bro, to even, like, remotely do something like that, that would have been amazing, but we were just never good enough, and we just never committed to each other. We were just in the church band because the band was like, or the church was like, hey, you guys all play instruments, get into a band.
Yeah, and I mean, that's actually where I learned a lot of, like, everything I know music-wise is church. Yeah, I played drums for 2 churches.
Yeah.
Every Sunday. It was the same pastor for each church. He did the morning church was the church I grew up going to, and then he did a night church in like some different like place, and he asked me to play for them. And this was like my freshman year of high school, so I was just doing that for a while.
Yeah.
And then Praise the Folly.
And then
Praise.
yeah, I was in a
Fuck all religion.
funny. That's actually like a very funny coincidence.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey man, which is that good?
I guess I could do both. I can
That's true. That's true.
be religious and not be religious
Yeah.
At
So
the same time.
at the same damn time.
So another thing that I noticed about you when I saw you at Beach Trick, you got a very like retro kind of '90s style with your clothing. Like, How much is your personal image? And I feel like some of your band members kind of follow a similar pattern, but like you specifically, you being the front man, being the leader, like how much does your personal image go into your style of music?
Probably a lot, honestly.
Mhm.
And I mean, all 4 of us as a band, we're all very like different people, but very similar at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like you guys are very distinctively like different, but it still has a cohesion. Like
And
I was looking at your photos and so I'm like, wow, they look like they're in a band, but they still have their own individual.
And it's kind of what makes it work because we're all like into a bunch of different things. But like I could like say off the top, Nick definitely dresses a lot different than all of us, but it works for him, and you know he looks great the way he does. But I could never dress the way he does. And I mean, a lot of like the like stuff that influences the way I dress is like skateboarding. A lot of skateboarding because I've been skateboarding way before I even did music. So just growing up like skateboarding and all that stuff, I don't want to say follow trends, but it's just kind of like you don't really want to look stupid because I mean everyone has a certain way they like to look.
It's all about the aesthetic.
I guess.
Aesthetic.
I mean that's a really weird word. I don't like that word that much. But, but yeah, no.
You
like,
know
I
what?
mean,
Maybe I'll edit it in post and like throw a ton of reverb and stretch it out and just be like
aesthetic. That'd be great. But now we're all like very supportive of each other's like clothing decisions. Funny enough, like we'll like, we go thrifting together sometimes, which is like that sounds.
Will you
so,
stylize
like,
each other? Like, yo, man, this is so you.
No, I wouldn't.
like,
and if it's something like that, they're definitely like we're making fun of each other. Like, you totally wear that. But now we
you're a guy for the straight eye.
Yeah, pretty much. But we like Ethan and I have traded clothes before because he's like, dude, these pants will fit you way better than me, and I'm like, okay. Like,
but did he get any person like, yo, dog, you would look so sexy in this, man?
I mean, if that did happen, I'm not going to tell you.
You look good, man. Hey, man, look, this is John's closet. I don't know if you ever noticed, but a lot of...
I mean, this...
we're very open here.
I can tell.
With the LGBT. It's funny, when we had a 10th Wave on, or whatever, and he was telling a story about, like, I guess seeing Gage?
Oh, God.
Expelled? Like, Adam saw Gage...
But Buki naked.
Oh, if you're still listening by this point, just so you know, please still share this with Gage because we're we're unearthing this old story.
Yeah. This is
buried in episode 5.
Yeah, buried in episode 5, and basically, like you got Adam, maybe saw his penis if I'm remembering the story correctly.
Yeah, no.
And the next time I asked was like, was it good? Was it good? Was not too shabby?
Did it look nice?
Yeah, and Adam just had a what?
Dude, I would have taken that opportunity to like, yeah, it was fucking huge. You guys should hit up Gage.
Just immediately talk him up like he's definitely got like
you got to help the man out. You know,
he's got a bratwurst in there for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's very important to have good chemistry between your band members.
Definitely.
Just to be like the fact that he like felt comfortable to even tell that story on the podcast, like it showed me that like there really are like good friends and they like to hang out and talk to each other.
It's funny because our band started like
once you do gay shit.
Yeah, once you do some gay shit. But our band started off where it was like we didn't even know each other. We were just playing music together, but that slowly like after a couple years turned into like my 3 best friends.
Yeah, right.
Like I wouldn't trade those 3 for the world. Because they're my fucking best friends,
Man, I got a fun question for you then.
Yeah, let's do some fun questions.
Ask me.
Let's see. You're not in a relationship, are you?
Dan's just like, I got too many hoes.
No, I just got out of one like a couple weeks ago. But yeah.
It wasn't feeling the ear glow. She's like, ear glow is cool, but I don't know.
No, actually, I make it like a point to like not be with anyone who like actually likes my music because that's really weird to me. And like she would like take advantage of it. Like she'd like play like our songs in the car or something. Like, don't fucking do that.
Don't influence me, bitch.
Nah, I would. And plus, I would never call her that.
Yeah.
All respects to women. We respect women.
Yes, we do. We do here. We respect women. Just jokes over here.
Right, Sydney?
Yes.
Right?
you gotta listen to these other episodes, man.
Trust me, I'm with you. I think there's like no limits to comedy, but
yeah.
Shit.
But yeah. But so I had to ask because of a question that I asked Copacetic last time because they were both in relationships and I asked him. Okay.
Oh,
would you choose your band or your girlfriends?
Oh well, this is obvious now for
I would definitely
easy alley-oop.
Definitely
band
my
member.
band.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Victoria's Secret model or your or band members.
It depends on who gives better head.
I have a theory about head, but I want to get if we ever get Duke Stamina. On the
my
podcast.
God.
I want to because I have a very I have a theory about head and women and gay dudes.
Spencer, I just want to let you know that I'm calling you out right now.
Shout out to Duke Stamina, man.
All right, let's see. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask this fun question that Sydney came up with earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you had to be, I guess, reincarnated or reborn in a certain era, or time travel to a certain era, knowing full well all the music that's going to come out during that era, which era would it be, and how would you act?
All right.
For example, for context, like if you say got reborn in the 70s or whatever, clearly you got Michael Jackson, Prince,
Jimi Hendrix, all that shit.
all the big bands,
Led
and you
Zeppelin,
just know the full context. You know when they're gonna come out. You know where they're living at. You know all the, you know clearly all the stuff is online. Some of the biggest acts ever.
Yeah.
Right. And you just, I don't know. You just know where he's gonna be at the next day to go to Woodstock. Right?
Yeah.
And you just like meet him, you see him at the hotel, and you just start talking to him like, "Hey, can I have that set list that you wrote down for Woodstock?"
And then you sell that shit for like God knows how much.
Yeah, like you just know the entire context of the music history. Like where would you go?
The 90s. And
90s.
the main reason is because that was kind of like my first introduction in like middle school, because I was like the biggest like Nirvana like freak.
Right.
And like Pearl Jam is still one of my favorite bands to this day. Eddie Vedder is the reason why I grew my hair out. My hair used to be like down to here. But
Really?
I cut, and and I was actually just last week in Seattle, and
Right.
I wanted to go visit like all like that stuff, but you know it was short notice and I couldn't. But just if I would have been able to be in Seattle at that time.
And just be a fucking grunge rocker.
Oh yeah, that would
yeah.
have been. And I mean that music in general is already like so raw and pure,
Right.
to where like it'd just be amazing just to like witness all that like firsthand.
Mm.
Cause like like the 70s are cool and all, but like for us like younger people, like you can't really like relate too much to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean even the 90s, it's like pretty hard to relate to.
I mean, you
just
talk to
got
some of the kids
YouTube.
now who are probably a little
God.
bit older. You're younger than you. They're like the 90s. What? I mean, because they were
Yeah.
born in the 2000s. They would say
I like just made it. I'm like 99 July.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
j-
you know-
barely.
Gauge 2000.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which-
just-
that's like a burden nowadays.
Oh
had to
man.
be born in the 2000s.
Oh my God.
2000s was a good. It's a good era. Like I
had,
think.
like-
Sydney,
was it
September 11th, 2001.
Oh my God.
Definitely not a good era.
I
Good
mean,
era in
the
music.
Strokes. The Strokes came out in 2001, and they had a song called New York
Mm.
City Cops, and they couldn't put it on the album because of the whole 9/11 thing, and they were like talking shit about New York City cops.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. A lot of.
But it was all-
of
it
bad
was-
timing.
It was before like
the
all that
music,
happened, and then the
yeah.
album came out like I think after.
Ooh,
9/11.
yeah.
You know what? Guitar Hero came out
Yeah.
during the 2000s.
All right, what's your favorite Guitar Hero? Mine's Guitar Hero 3. That's like the most superior Guitar Hero ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
They got Tom Morello Slash. You battle the devil. Fucking do the fire and the flames.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. If you don't get down to through the fire and the flames, like I can't trust you because that song is so
Copacetic,
good.
they said they literally like they literally started with, I don't know if it was Rock Band or Guitar Hero. I forget which one they
Oh,
said.
Rock Band.
Rock Band. They
They were
literally
just like,
started.
hey, let's start a band now.
Yeah, and like no, he got so good at Rock Band that he actually started playing. I didn't know that actually happened. I thought,
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a
Crazy.
joke, and like he was like, yeah, I started on Rock Band, and then I was like, oh wow, I'm kind of good at this, and then it switched to actual drums. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I pretty much
Yeah.
started on what was it, Guitar Hero. Like I was still learning how to play guitar before that,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until like I got into Guitar Hero that it actually showed me music that was interesting to play on guitar.
Oh yeah, like
Mm.
Guitar Hero 3 really opened it up because it was like
Oh,
Rage
yeah.
Against the Machine.
Mhm.
Who
Oh,
else?
yeah.
Like they had Metallica, they had Slayer, they had like a bunch of like really good bands.
I think they had some Killswitch Engage too.
They had the Killers,
Oh yeah.
but they had a
Guitar
when
Hero.
you were young instead of like the Mr. Brightside, because Mr. Brightside's
Yeah.
like their biggest song. But then I heard
Yeah.
When You Were Young, and that song was like, dude, this is just as good.
Yeah.
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 But
Shout out to
yeah,
the Killers,
that
man.
game changed me.
Oh yeah.
It did, for what it was, Guitar Hero and Rock Band, it did open up a lot of kids to the idea of being in a band and
Yeah, for sure.
wanting to play music.
yeah.
I may hear it and I'm like, it's not real. Yeah. I mean, I also played it, but I think at the time when it first, like, I actually started playing it, I actually started playing like,
Yeah.
guitar and music, so. But yeah, shout out to Guitar Hero Rock Band.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Changing shit
Specifically Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, of
Best Guitar
course.
Hero.
No,
So-
definitely.
Now you said earlier, so you went to Seattle, and you mentioned Nirvana earlier. You wanted to be in the '90s and stuff like that. I believe it was Kyle Ann when we had on. I think I asked
Oh,
a
yeah.
similar question. She was super asked her like, okay, who is
Foo Fighters or Nirvana, and she
Foo
was
Fighters or
100% Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Yeah, Foo Fighter,
no
I mean,
question.
I'll respect Foo Fighters, but they're like radio rock, and it's like that's just like arena rock. It's not really like stuff that you would want to like listen to like on your own time. I don't know. Me
I have
personally.
some points about that because, like, you know, let's argue right now, like full on needle drop.
Let's do it.
By the way, Anthony Fantano, that's his
Yeah.
name, right?
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it.
The melon.
Yeah.
The
Melon,
melon.
indeed.
You know, if by the way, if anyone's listening, please send this to Anthony.
Yes.
Just because we would love a shout out from the needle drop.
The needle drop.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
You know, if you can, please. Please.
But yeah,
Anyways,
but yeah, so
but let's argue about Foo Fighters here.
No, but yeah, Foo. Because I'm a little bit biased because I was introduced to Foo Fighters first. Mind you, like I
That's
didn't
strange.
like because I didn't. The music that I was listening to was all like my dad introduced me to like '70s R&B music and soul music and stuff like
the
that.
good shit though.
right?
Some good shit.
Yeah, and then in middle school I started. You know, I just listened to typical like radio stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. And then in high school, I only really listened to Christian music because I was really Christian. I was really about that.
Did
faith.
you like Skillet?
Unfortunately, yes. not anymore. But at the time, yes, I will admit I did listen to Skillet. I listened to like weird, like hardcore Christian music. As much as my music
I
tastes
need a hero.
No. I would have to show you like
I think
some
there
of the
was like a
songs I was
screamo
listening
band
to.
called We Came as Romans, and I think they were
Oh,
like
yeah.
super Christian or something.
Yeah. But no, my friend Eric, he was like the only secular band. He introduced me to Foo Fighters. Like, oh, who is this? Who's Foo Fighters? I never heard of them.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. So, you know, I kind of have a touching. But then I saw, you know, listen to Nirvana. Of course, Nirvana is amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah. So so you siding for Foo Fighters? God damn it, I'm tired of the Foo Fighters disrespect.
I'm not
See-
disrespecting. I'm just saying.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. After learning a few Nirvana songs and learning a few Foo Fighters songs,
The level of intricacy.
Speak on it.
Foo Fighters songs, at least on guitar, and I'm sure on drums on some level, are technically more interesting to me.
I get that because you're also like dabble in all the whole producing stuff. So you
Yeah.
that's like your realm.
Yeah, like you know, just from a songwriting perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have listened to the song All My Life, but it's one of those songs that sounds really fucking weird when you really come into the chorus and it gets heavy and everything. It's very eerie, very
By Foo Fighters, right?
yes.
All my life I've been searching for something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when the main riff hits, right? Like what's weird is that they've got these like minor seventh chords that are just playing over with all these other overtones from the other strings because you know he's playing it pretty loosely. But then you know the chord changes and the patterns are not necessarily like the chord changes and everything, or the chords themselves are not very how should I put it, conventional.
Right.
Meanwhile, Nirvana, you know, even though they had less than conventional riffs as well,
They had the
Right.
verse chorus verse formula or the loud quiet
I
loud
mean,
formula,
yeah,
which was like it's a very simple formula, but it definitely worked. And I mean, they even admitted to like stealing it from the Pixies, but they didn't give a shit.
but
Yeah.
like what I'll say is that like when you look at the chord progressions by Kurt Cobain versus Dave Grohl, Kurt Cobain, even though he didn't know what was going on, he had a few go-to patterns. They were usually
Right.
power chords.
Right.
Yeah.
For any sort of chorus or any sort of like main heavy riff or whatever.
Right.
The lyrics didn't have that much meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just riff after riff after riff, really stripped down heavy music to where it was just mainly power chords,
Right.
lots of gain, like, you know, grunge. Foo Fighters, you know, like let's take Monkey Wrench for example.
Yeah.
You know,
Great song.
the opening like riff, the opening like phrase is just like, you know, all it is just like pop and it's very interesting and just like Even though the most of the song relies on power chords for the rest of the structure, that main riff is still like boom.
Oh yeah.
And
There's
then
also
on top of that,
a part in the song where he's like, he does that like one vocal thing where he's like going on forever and ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you do that?
Yeah. He gets like borderline screaming towards the end.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you listen to like Concrete and Gold, their latest stuff, like Run. Well,
that
first
was
up,
a pretty good song.
Oh,
For
yeah.
like a new Foo Fighters album.
Yeah. So in general,
like Dave Grohl really had to change up his vocal style for that song in particular.
Like Foo Fighters was a little bit more interesting, a little bit more innovating when it actually came to the technical part of music, but Nirvana had the more raw.
But you also got to think they didn't really have time to grow.
That's true.
They were only a band for 3 years.
So
was it only 3 years?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you want to count, they were very popular for 3 years. I mean, they like started in like '89.
Okay.
So like 4 or 5 years. But even then, you don't really like start to progress. You don't really start to progress until you like, have like a following, and then you're like, all right, so this is what people want to hear.
Right.
This, that, or whatever.
Here's what I'm gonna say about it. Because here's what I might say. I would be willing to argue that Nirvana did one thing really, really well.
What
they did, just their sound.
Yes.
Like they nailed their sound really, really well.
Yes.
Or at least they did.
I mean, that, undoubtedly, like people put Nirvana, Nevermind, like as top 10 album of all time.
Yeah.
Right, but I feel like when you listen to some Nirvana tracks,
right,
you can see very much that there's a pattern to their writing, and it's a very similar pattern almost every single time. You have a very like modulated quiet sections. They usually have like a chorus or a phaser or something going on. You have really loud power chord sections. A lot of the intervals between power chords are like very similar. And they all sound good, and they sound just different enough to be different songs.
Yeah.
And they do that really, really well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Foo Fighters, I think, is more breadth than depth, I think, in that their songwriting is a lot more expansive.
Yeah, right. Because I'll put up Everlong versus Smells Like Teen Spirit any day.
Ooh.
I feel like they're that high of a level of songs, at least within the respective genres.
Mm-hmm.
Where each recognizable chords, like everybody knows the opening riff to Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the fucking power.
But that's also like the last thing I would go looking for when I want to listen to Nirvana. Like, if I'm gonna like actively like go listen to Nirvana because I want to, I'd listen to like Incesticide, which is like a whole B-sides album of songs that like never really got released. Because that's where like you could really like see like him like show like what he really wanted to release.
Oh, okay. So more like. More like, I guess, more forward thinking.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just not like it's different,
Just different? Okay.
Yeah. It's still Nirvana, but it's like not what you think of when you think Nirvana.
Yeah. Well, I hope Kyle enjoyed that discussion.
Kyle
I tried to have a discussion. She just shut it down. No, Nirvana. It's like, but wait.
Nirvana. Definitely. Absolutely. 100%.
As a songwriter, I was like, all right. Whatever.
I will also give this to Kurt. He never, like, when he started playing guitar, he never learned any other songs. He tried his best to stay away from like playing songs that weren't his.
Yeah.
Just so it was like a very like intimate like relationship with his guitars. Like it's like what he learned on his own.
Can I? You know the song? I'm sure you know. Hey Ya by Outkast.
Yeah.
Right. Hey Ya. Actually, it's like 4 chords or whatever. And Andre 3000, at the time, when he was learning guitar, those were the first 4 chords that he learned.
Wrote a fucking hit with it.
And wrote like one of the most amazing hits of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Mind you, like Andre 3000. I mean, I'm big into hip hop. Andre 3000 is like the GOAT rapper, like from his albums at Atlanteans, Aquemini. Stakeonia. So like the fact that he wrote an acoustic pop tune on guitar of him singing was just crazy at the time.
Now here's what I'll say about that.
fuck Outcast. No.
Does he have a mashup with Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up"? No, Kurt Cobain does, because "Smells Like Teen Spirit" and Rick Astley.
Oh gosh, somewhere in the deep pits of YouTube. And
it's not even
internet.
deep pits.
No,
I've been.
Is it good?
It works pretty well. Not gonna lie. They really did a good job matching the two up. Connor shows it to me. Like every time he wants to get on my nerves, he's just like, this is the beauty of Nirvana, Rick Astley.
Nirvana is that good. Hey man, people sleep on that song. I actually really, really like that song. Never gonna give you up.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
Yeah, somebody check on Rick Astley.
He did a follow-up tour.
Did he?
After it, his song became a meme because it just resurged his popularity.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this needs to happen. But anyways, let's get back to these interview questions. So that was a nice little fun segment. So, so your band. Now, I guess we could call it surfer rock. Is that safe to say? Surfer-ish rock. As I was listening to it, I'm like, that's kind of the closest thing I can think of as to what categories. But what would you say if you have to put a genre to it?
It's hard because
that
we don't want to be labeled as that, but at the same time, that's kind of what got us that show with Surfer Blood.
Yeah.
Nice Guys was like, oh, surf rock band, them.
Yeah.
A lot of our early stuff is super surfy, and it's because my like sophomore year of high school, I was really into like a lot of like surfy bands. Like they're more modern bands now, but like Surf Curse and like the Frights and just a bunch of California bands that were like back then. They were doing like the super reverby, like a bunch of bar chords and like just super like.
What okay, so in surfer rock is not like as far as like other genres of rock, like surfer rock had its time and it was super super popular and clearly has a lot of like famous bands that did surfer rock. But what's Beach Boys, yeah, right. So what makes surfer rock so distinct? Because when I hear surfer rock music, I just know, oh, that's the surfer rock music. Like, what's the chords?
I honestly think it's just like a bunch of reverb.
Just a bunch of reverb.
When you add a bunch of reverb to a guitar, and you're like, oh, that sounds like you're surfing.
What would you say? What makes surfer rock so distinct?
Well, usually when I think of surfer rock, I think of like it's usually the drum pattern where you hit the snare twice.
Or like and like a lot of ride cymbal, like constant, like a lot of like the word baby is used a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure
that. But no, that's just what like I was inspired by a lot back then. And our first EP were all songs that I had already previously written. So and that's kind of like it was like it kind of affected us in a weird way because it was like. It was already set as to what they were going to sound like. So when we recorded them, we didn't have much, like, playing room, I guess. And we could have easily, like, told ourselves, like, that we wanted to, like, change them or try something different.
Yeah.
But we were, like, so, like, anxious to just record something and have it out that we were just like, all right, let's just do this and put it out. But now we're definitely a lot more cautious as to what we record and put out. Like, we just put out a split EP, and I would argue that those two songs are very different from what we put out before.
I was listening to it. Your Win is really good. I like man, what's the song called? I think I have it written down.
I just had to search you guys just before you showed up.
I don't remember the song, but I think it was the last song with Charles Irwin. I was like, wow, this is
Inner
really
Feelings.
That's Inner Feelings.
Those are like our best friends. Those guys are amazing. They're beyond popular now. Like they're a Tampa band, and
right.
The amount of like fame and like success that they have is insane.
Yeah. Right. No, I don't want to keep on saying that you're surfer rock because you say you don't want to be put into like.
And that's the thing about music is it's super subjective, so you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll say okay. What I mean, so why do you feel like surfer rock kind of like I don't really hear a lot of people wanting to make a surfer rock type of band. Like, why do you have any idea why it didn't get as much admiration or like the genre kind of died out? Because I was reading up on it. Because surfer rock happened right before the British invasion, and then the British invasion clearly took over, and then like surfer rock kind of like died out a little bit.
Well, I mean, in the past like 5 years, there's been a lot of bands that play this kind of music, and I mean, it's all in California, and they have a
All in
huge
California.
scene over there.
Oh, I'm sure.
The scene is huge.
Yeah.
There's a
That's where
band
it started,
called
right?
there's a band called the Growlers, and they have a huge festival called Beach Goth, and like every like surf rock band plays it,
Right.
and like it's actually like a pretty thriving scene. It's just not here. Like here is like the last place where you would expect bands like that to play.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I'm like, wow.
Here it's top 40 rock, or I can't really say top 40 rock anymore.
Yeah.
But like let's say like Nickelback or Chevelle or something
Shit like that.
Mhm.
Which is, I mean, you know, you can't really judge anyone for what they listen to, but if that's what they want to listen to, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's weird because we get a
I'm
pretty.
judging. Don't worry about it.
I'm trying to play like the nice guy, but I'm judging too.
yeah, it's okay. Look. You play the nice guy. We'll play the bad guy.
Yeah.
This is a lot of product play from So Nice Guys Pizza. that we've been
Yeah, there
doing.
you go.
Nice Guys Pizza, by the way, if you're listening,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
Sorry for being like super late. And I hate like putting a bad impression on like venues and stuff. But
Yeah.
that was like a bad thing to do, and I feel bad.
Yeah. So
It won't happen again.
So I was listening to I pretty much just like ran through like all of your albums or whatever, and all your previous albums like I'm not sure where did you record all of these albums? Did you do in a recording studio? Like how did you do
We
it?
have there's a band called Joshua Creek.
Okay.
They're from Fort Myers, and we played like some shows with them, and they have like a whole like shed where it's like insulated. They have like a whole studio set up, and
goddamn.
it's pretty cool. And they were so hyped on like us as like people, and like they thought we were really cool, and they were like, dude, we'll do all of it like for free.
Oh wow.
And I was like, no way, like that's awesome. So they recorded everything that we have out except for like the demos that we have, which like I did that in my bedroom with like Audacity, super shitty, like terrible audio quality. I regret putting it up anywhere ever. There's one good song on it that's like has like I think just guitar is like the only like real instrument on it. Everything else is like MIDI drums. But yeah, they did our first EP, and then they did our the Year-Wind split, and the Year-Wind split definitely shows like the progress because Tito he's like the main guy who like produces it and everything. He learned a lot more about recording from that time period because we recorded it. The EP was 2017 in the summer 2017, and the Year-Wind split was like a couple months ago. Like it was like right before summer, so it was like almost a year difference.
Do you intentionally put your vocals kind of more in the background? Because when I was listening to it, I'm like, oh wow, the instruments was good, but like the vocals are kind of like faint in the
For which
back.
project?
I remember the first two that you released in 2017. I
Yeah,
forget what it's called.
that might have just been because like we didn't really know what we were doing.
Okay. I was like,
it probably wasn't intentional. We didn't have
Yeah.
any specific. We just wanted it to sound good. We didn't have any specific instructions as to what we wanted louder. We wanted everything to be kind of equal. But I can see that, and it's also like drowned in a lot of reverb. And that was a big,
yeah.
That was,
Oh,
a,
yeah. I could barely,
that's
like-
definitely.
that was a big
Yeah.
mistake of ours, and we learned our lesson with that. But you know,
I've just learned to stop using reverb in my mixes.
I gotta try. We gotta like use it very sparingly now. And a lot of our newer songs are like very not reverby and like a lot of distortion now.
Yeah. So on your Spotify account, I mean, I don't know what views you have for SoundCloud or whatever, but you know, since I use Spotify, you guys have like about like 1,000 views per month. Like, how did you guys get to the point where you just have like a clear audience of people?
I don't know.
You have no
I
idea.
don't fucking know, dude.
Like, were you advertising on social media? What's your secret, man?
Well, yeah, but at the
Because
same
you started Southwest Florida Music. That's why. You started this whole culture.
No. I honestly, I'd have to give that to like the Tampa and like St. Pete scene because those kids are insane.
Okay, so they were
They're-
just like really, like,
they're
we're about it.
They're super like supportive. And oh no, how could I forget? Spirit Goth. They're the label that put out those
Spirit
two
Goth.
projects.
Oh,
They're
okay.
they're like an indie label, but they have like a pretty decent following. They put out our first project, and they're the ones who put it all on like Spotify and everything for us. And then so for the first project, we got physical copies made with them, and they have like 5,000 followers on Instagram and stuff. And like they have Castle Beat is like a band, I guess. It's like one person. He's the guy who also owns the label, and he's like super big. Like it's like the genre is called like dream pop.
Dream pop.
Yeah,
right.
it's a pretty cool genre of music, but he has songs that are like in the millions and stuff. So people like, you know, they pay attention to like his label and stuff. So they put out our first project, and that really helped a lot. But we still didn't get like, we weren't like, you know, like where we are now. And then the second project came out, and that came out on, it's like a sister label to Spirit Goth is because it was 4 songs. So we didn't want to like do like a big release, so we just did. It's called Birth DIY, and it's like a just strictly like net label. They only release like internet music or like music on the internet, and then we got the tapes made with like I said, our friend from Colorado. But yeah, they've helped us tremendously, and also just being friends with like Charles Irwin and stuff because they have a huge following, and it's like it's all love. Like
yeah, so I feel like it's just been a lot of love and like just like people just wanting to do like and just like doing things for free for you guys and like
it's weird.
Like,
it's weird because this project is the first project that I've ever seen like any sort of like success with, and this was also the first project where I told myself I'm gonna do this just because I want to do it and not because I want like gratification of like people listeners or whatever. And
I mean that's the best work where you don't do it just to blow up and like
I fully agree because like the band I was in before, it was like, all right, we need to like release something, you know.
We need to be the next Nirvana. I was like, all right.
But like now I started this band and it was literally like I just recorded stuff in my bedroom for like 6 months straight, and I would post like super consistently on Bandcamp. And
being very consistent.
And now that we've got like some sort of a following, like we have like time to just sit down and like actually make stuff that we want to make, and if people like it, cool. If not, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Now that you guys have become, you know, a little bit of like have you had people like treat you slightly different? Have you noticed a change when people know who you are in the band that they follow you? And you said earlier that like people would play your music where you're at.
It's happened a couple times, but it's nothing like super drastic.
Okay.
Like, for the most part, it's like we're all just friends.
Oh, just friends.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's like the Tampa and like St. Pete scene. Like that's where we get like the best like reaction.
Best reaction.
Yeah.
So I really need to go see you guys when you're in Tampa.
Oh,
like, they're like fucking.
It's amazing. Those kids, because like that, and I mean, we have like the scene here is like, you know, it's getting up and it's, you know, it's not at its full potential, but over there it's like it's such a difference. You play a show and the kids are like standing right in front of you and they're moving around and they're having fun. But here, and that's a big problem here. Then like, you know, I hate to be like this guy, but they're just standing there and it's like we feed off of the crowd. We're gonna react the way they react. So if you guys are having fun, we're gonna have fun. But if they're just standing there, it's not really like it's too fun. And I mean, playing music in general with my friends is extremely fun.
Yeah.
And I will never take that for granted. The fact that people would come out and watch us play, but at the same time, like, you know, we want that to be reciprocated. And so that's why we really appreciate like Tampa and St. Pete and like everyone up there and like the Charles Irwin guys, because every time we play up there, it's insane. Like those kids are crazy. There's actually a video, like a full video, like documentary type thing that my friend Salad made for the Urine release show, and that show was insane. Like,
wow,
it was in a house. Like, it was like the house was packed. The kids were having so much fun, and like people were singing our songs. It was crazy. I've never even thought that would ever happen.
Yeah. Speaking of your new EP, Your Win. Now, Your Win, I mean, clearly feels more polished this time around. It like you know, just you know, because I mean, it was helpful that I listened to all of it all at once.
Yeah.
So I had a nice little progression. You know, there's only like 4 songs in each EP, so it's pretty. And you know, I liked a lot of songs, and I mentioned earlier, "In Your Feelings" is probably my personal favorite, and you mentioned
it's a great
Charles.
song.
It's a lovely song. So what was your? And you said earlier your game plan this time around is I want to make just good shit. Like what? Like you feel like that's gonna be the formula that you're gonna pursue next time you make?
Oh yeah, because recently, or not recently, for like the past like year and a half, I've been listening to a lot of like, I guess the like official genre is like emo music, like emo Midwest music.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you're familiar with like Fest in Gainesville, but like it's like a huge emo fest, like bands like Dikembe and like Mom Jeans and stuff like that. It's super like a lot more riff oriented and just like a lot more personal.
Right.
And just that kind of music in general has really inspired me lately. So I've definitely been writing writing songs that I've been like way happier with. And that was the problem with our first EP was
you
like,
just weren't happy.
I was not even that I wasn't happy, because I mean, you know, it was cool to like the whole experience was really fun, but I just know that we could do better.
Yeah.
So like the split was kind of like a redemption. It was like, all right, like we put that out, you know, because it was fun, we recorded it, but this is like the direction we're actually going in. Like this is what we're capable of, and this is, you know, better. And I mean, and that's cool.
And it shows.
Yeah, it shows, because you wouldn't want to like put out a bunch of projects that are all the same and then like have one that's like really good. I want to like put out projects, and each one like just show the progression.
Is that why you kind of want to be genreless? Because like you feel like if you have a specific genre, now you're expected to make this type of music. And surfer rock is a very like kind of
Specific.
like
It's not very
niche
open ended.
sort of.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I just never even like wanted to be like a surf rock band, I guess.
Because I remember one song, I forget which EP was one of the earlier ones. It was like an interlude.
Yeah,
And I was listening to it. Like,
Ethan made that one. He's our
yeah,
drummer.
but it was like a lo-fi like hip hop
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
interlude. I'm like, oh wow, like
And I
it's
mean,
actually not that bad.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a filler, but at the same time, we just wanted to like throw something in there that was like super different, just to throw people off.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
we-
threw me up. I was like, am
Yeah,
I
there's
listening to the same shit?
There's like a band called Jank that we all listen to for the most part, all of us, and they're like super like riff oriented, like crazy talented, and then like each album or a project they've put out, they have like something like that. Like it's like
Right.
a random song in the middle,
Random song.
random like noises.
You
and hip-hop
know,
beats.
Periphery. You know the band Periphery, right?
I do not.
Okay. Well, they're like more sort of prog metal, very like, they're kind of, I guess post Meshuggah gent, if you want to call them
Okay.
that.
You won't get any chugging from us. Though. I'll tell you that.
No, but they have a song in their second self-titled album. Is Periphery 1, now
So
it's
they have-
Periphery 2.
Oh wow.
So in Periphery 2, there's a song, I think it's called Epoch. And all it is sort of like a clean interlude, sort of like electronic influence
Yeah.
sort of thing in the middle of,
Oh, this heavy shit.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because the song ends on a breakdown.
Right.
That's
and
crazy.
That where they detune the guitars, like they start detuning the guitars
As
as
they're
they
playing, that's pretty sick.
and like they get it really super sludgy, like really muddy, sludgy sort of stuff, you know, and and of course it's syncopated. It's gent-ish, you know, but again, this track just somewhere in the middle of the album is just this nice, clean, ambient, just super, again, heavily electronic influence. There's these like bubbly synthesizers that are going through, and it's just in the middle of everything.
It's just good to like put something like that in there, just
Yeah.
to show that like this is not all we're capable of, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to explore these other genres that you guys could?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the new stuff is like the complete opposite of what people would associate us with,
Right.
and I mean that's kind of what we're going for now because, the title was cool and it was fun, like when we first started out, and it like helped us out a ton. But now that we're kind of like starting to establish ourselves as like a band,
Yeah.
we want to like just stray away from like being titled something because we don't want to like just only get booked for shows that people think will fit in. Like
Yeah.
we want to get booked with everyone and play with every fucking band, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
but whatever. People are gonna call it whatever they're gonna call it. And again, music in general is all subjective.
Right.
So it's with anything, like anything, it could be subjective. Like
Unless you watch the movie Whiplash, then it's objective.
Oh my god.
but like whatever's good to one person is terrible to another
Yeah,
person. So
right,
it's like
right.
you can't really win ever. You can't
Nirvana
make
versus Foo Fighters.
yeah, pretty much. You can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So some people are gonna be like, oh, they should have made surf rock music. and
Yeah.
something
Confirm. Rebecca Black's Friday is better than Foo Fighters and Nirvana combined.
Oh shit.
This music subjective.
That's a hot
It's a
take
top
right
hit.
there.
hot take right there. Rebecca Black's Friday. Friday.
You know what? It was
That's a-
probably more contagious.
Gotta get down
like,
on
initially.
Friday.
They could be an argument made for that.
Gotta
There
get down
definitely
on
could. I mean, there
Friday.
could be an argument.
You
made
don't
for
think about
anything.
Nirvana when you're chilling at home on Friday
On your couch.
on your couch. Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
Well, with how contagious that song was in terms of how, like, the mutual hate for that song
That's what I'm saying.
brought so many people together.
That song opened my eyes. Like I was like, wow,
Wow,
this
it's
is the,
Friday.
No, yeah, Friday. The power of negative publicity is such a driving force.
Oh, let's like for
you
example.
to click on the because
the,
YouTube doesn't account for like, oh, this is a hate click right?
Like-
it just counts it as a view.
Think about the Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
She's like
Oh,
a
God.
legitimate rapper now, like
Yeah.
with songs with like
Yeah.
very prominent rappers.
Oh,
now, like-
actually,
I-
you know what?
y- well-
I saw a video recently. Holy shit! Like music video, and it's one that features David Spade.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
With Catch Me Outside Girl?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
It doesn't actually feature David Spade
Okay, okay.
in the
you
track.
just in the
He's like in the music video.
interesting.
Lil Pump had a video with Charlie Sheen in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that kind of makes
But-
sense. But don't hate me. But Bad Bobby was this her name?
I think it's Bad
Baby.
Baby.
Baby, what the
I
fuck
don't
it
know.
is?
Dude, I respect her grind.
I mean,
respect it. I respect it. She
some of
flipped-
the songs are not too bad.
No, they're not.
They're not too bad.
And I
Well,
mean,
I
that's
listened to
you're
one
kind of.
song- I wanted to hate, but I like rap music so much, so like I like.
I'm a
might-
very avid rap fan as well.
yeah.
but
So
I mean,
my
and
curiosity.
when you have like a label like Atlantic behind you,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you she didn't write any of that. Like,
Yeah, no,
they're,
I don't-
yeah.
Well,
the artist don't.
what I'll say is that what I'm amazed with is how quickly she turned everyone around because
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. She did. She
like
did the rebrand.
because in this track, here's what I realized. I looked at the like versus dislike ratio because I was like,
It's like, okay, you're probably like, okay, it's probably gonna be.
I'm thinking it's got to be like 60
Yeah,
40 50
yeah,
50
yeah.
type of thing.
No.
No, there was 1.2 million likes
Wow.
and 147,000 dislikes.
Jesus, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's like 90% almost.
Shout out
Uh,
Danielle Bergoli.
If any of my math
Really
students are listening, by
Bad
the way.
baby.
You matter.
If any of my math students are listening, by the way.
Hi, bitch.
No, it's not exact. No.
What grade do you teach?
FSW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
College.
Oh.
Yeah.
Professor status. But anyways,
Adjunct professor. Let
I
me
was about to say
specify.
because if it's like 10th grade and below, then it's like, all right, it's fair game.
let's do
But she's like 15.
Let's do
that's-
another fun question for her, because I'm all out of my number of questions that I got. I'm all spent.
Oh boy.
Can we
Hit me with it.
do a fun question?
All right.
Fun
Then,
question. Oh.
can we do a lightning round?
Yeah, let's go.
Lightning round. Okay.
Mm.
Let's see. Let's say that you found a girl who was absolute 10 out of 10, personality, looks, everything, whole kit and caboodle.
Mm-hmm.
But you could only talk online. Would you do it?
Hell no.
All right. If you had 3 items to freak out a cashier at Walmart, what would they be?
Some tape,
Mm.
a seesaw,
Mm.
and some super glue.
Mm. I'm a little bit freaked out, D'Angelo.
If you had to pick one fictional universe to be in, right? But all the consequences of that universe are still viable and still real, i.e., Harry Potter universe.
Yeah.
Someone can
Yeah.
still use one of the forbidden spells.
Mm-hmm.
Which universe would it be?
That 70s show because Donna's so hot.
Sweet.
I agree.
I can respect
Okay.
that answer.
I would
Me-
would respect her so hard.
Mhm.
Let's see. What's your spirit Pokemon?
I played a lot on like the emulators on my phone, and I'd say Blaziken because like I was rocking with him for a while. But
Nice.
I never beat the game though, so that's like as
Yeah.
far as I got.
What would your porn star name be?
Damn. That's funny enough. My nickname is Dangles, and it's not for the reason. So
Dangles.
I'll just say that I got that nickname like right when I moved here, and it stuck. It's like everyone, even if like next question.
D'Angelo Dangles.
Dangles.
Uh,
Do you have any nicknames, John? This is a little sidebar.
Let's not talk about that. No, in middle school, I got the name Pickles for whatever reason.
Pickles.
Again, I don't know
Okay.
the reason. It
It's
was
a
just
weird
like
name.
randomly.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend when we were living in the same neighborhood that went by Mr. Chips.
That's weird.
My nickname in like middle school and a little bit in high school was Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. I got high school. I got called Lord Farquaad a lot. My hair was a lot longer,
Oh no, from Shrek.
and then Jesus was also one of them.
Yeah.
Mm. It's all about that beard. Like
Mhm.
that's
I
that's.
can't grow a beard.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Let's say that you decided to ditch the whole band thing, become a DJ. What would your DJ alias be?
DJ Dangles. I guess we're gonna stick with
Dangle
that.
them balls in your face.
Yeah, for real.
Dangle these beats.
Mm.
Let's see. I'm trying to find one more. Let's say that you had to design your own religion.
Oh, that should be fun for you.
So
What was that? What was that goddamn band name? The you said
Praise the
earlier?
Folly.
Yeah.
So let's say you had to design your own religion, whatever it be, monotheistic, multiple deities, or polytheistic. Is that would be the word? How would you design the religion? I guess starting there, and then whatever other rules
Would
you
you have a god, or would you be no gods?
That's a really hard question to answer. I don't know. I think
Also, you can impose as many weird rules as you want.
Yeah.
So like, just weird things like, you know, you can't eat pork. You know, like I mean, as a real life thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I think you're gonna say something else.
I don't know. I think I would just make it like a free for all, and I'd be the god. So I'd just be looking over everyone.
So
and just be watching everyone murder each other.
So D'Angelo would be God.
Yeah.
Right. And they would. I mean, it's not too far fetched. I mean, that's how most religions, Jesus.
Pretty much.
Another belief. So you are God. That's the form.
And you get to just mess with everyone. Like you just get to fuck with everyone on Earth. You know,
Pretty
just.
much.
All right. So I think that ends this lightning round.
Yeah, that
so.
sounds good. So one last I guess ending question. So, what are your personal goals with the band, and what's the future that you foresee for the band? What heights do you think you can take?
Next summer we're definitely planning a tour with our friends, Charles Irwin.
Okay, nice.
That's a very big goal that we have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the goals that I've set for myself music-wise
Mm-hmm.
have already kind of been accomplished. Like it's all small steps. Like recording something of quality, releasing it on like all music platforms, getting physical copies, playing shows with like bands that we like, and touring. Touring is a big one that we really want to do, and it just kind of now became possible.
Yeah.
It's specifically next summer. So we're gonna see what we can do, even if that means just like sleeping at a bunch of people's random people's houses.
Do you know where you're gonna tour, or if
all over, man? I don't know specifically, but that's why we want to start planning now, so we can just book a bunch of places, random places.
You're thinking of like keeping it, I guess, relatively regional, or
no,
like
we want to go everywhere, man.
All right, that's very cool.
We'll see if we can make it out to the West Coast, but.
Ooh.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll do your plugs. D'Angelo.
Plug everything.
Just plug your shit. Your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTubes, your Bandcamp.
You could follow us. YRGLOWFL. That's the band account. And then Your Glow on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you listen.
How do you spell Your Glow?
YR space GLOW.
Okay.
This is really a note for me because I don't know if anyone really makes it to the end. This is so that I can put the links in the description so that people don't have to listen to everything.
Yeah. And yeah, of course, still follow us on John's Closet,
sure.
Instagram, John_Closet_, and then Facebook, and then of course subscribe to us on YouTube, John's Closet. And this was episode 16.
16. Sweet 16.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
I've never actually watched an episode. I just seen all the clips and
very
whatever.
entertaining.
I never actually watched the full episode.
Oh,
I might have watched one.
It makes me cringe so hard.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Fucking blue Ferrari, mom. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I couldn't stomach it like as I was watching it, and I'd see like a roach crawl.
They had celebrities though. They had like Lil Wayne's daughter and like a bunch of people.
Dad.
Yeah.
Got me the wrong Lamborghini.
Pretty much.
Lamborghini's aside.
I thought you said a pink. I wanted a bright pink.
Oh, by the way, let's see. If anyone wants to like send us a Lamborghini, for a sponsorship, I won't be upset.
Oh, I'd be willing to redo my Sweet 16. my 16, I did not have one. I thought that was a standard. Like, oh wow, my Sweet 16, and then they have it. And they're like, ooh.
I don't want to ever relive those years.
Oh boy. Anyways,
yes, this was John's Glows, episode 16 with D'Angelo from Your Glow.
Shout out the boys, Ethan, Nick, James.
Of course,
they couldn't be here, but they're here in spirit. Shout out my mom. She's kind of mad at me because I didn't go to college this semester, but college is always there. Music isn't.
Yeah.
Shout out Seattle. It was a lot of fun there. And shout out. Chipotle. Gotta go to work tomorrow early in the morning.
Hey, I feel like work in the morning. All right, we're tuning out.
Got work at noon.
Oh.
Peace.